Don't you know? Don't you know? Don't you know?
Hi guys! Thanks for listening. I'm Raquel.
I'm Jake.
And this is Don't You Know? So, I don't think this one's going to be a short one. We'll find out, I guess. I have a lot of notes, but it depends on whether or not that's going to be fast or slow. I don't have a lot to talk about. Update-wise, I'm still quarantined.
Same.
Only working 3 days a week. And the only thing that has happened to me is I took my car. Since I was off Friday, I took my car to the dealership because I thought it'd been driving funny since I've gotten it back since the Pistons. And one of the mornings I left and it felt like I was stuttering and I was like, okay, you know what? No, I can't do this because I'm driving to work every day now. Versus before I was taking the bus. So I'd only have to drive until the bus stopped. Now I'm driving all the way downtown and having to get on the freeway and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't have my car breaking down on me.
Especially in LA traffic.
Well, there's not really any LA traffic right now because everyone's quarantined. But, so I figured, I'm off Friday, I'll just take it to the dealership. So I did, and I left my car there, told them a little bit about what's going on, and kind of going, man, I kind of want them to find something, so I know I'm not crazy, but at the same time, I kind of don't want them to find something because I want to have my car back, because I need it back. Well, it's not going to be expensive, it's on warranty.
Fair enough.
But I wanted it back for Monday when I went to work. So, because last time when it was my Pistons, I didn't get it back for like a week or two.
Yeah, it's a big job.
And so, they called me the Saturday morning, and they were like, the mechanic ended up staying later. Because I had called that day, because they still hadn't gotten back to me, and I was like, I need to figure out what I'm going to do, and they said that they were going to look at it that day. And the guy was like, yeah, he's looking at it right now, he's got all the schematics pulled up and everything. And, he should know tomorrow, at least. It's like, okay. So, and I was like, they're doing a lot. He was like, yeah, they're doing all this other stuff. They had to do a cold start, and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay. So either they found something and now they're having to try to figure out what's going on because he had to pull the schematic, or they haven't found anything and now they're having to pull the schematics to make sure everything's right.
Failure to recreate.
So when I called Saturday, they were like, yes, the mechanic stayed after a little bit, found the problem, fixed it. I guess one of my system valve stems was missing a seal or something like that.
Okay, weird.
And
it came off.
Yeah, I mean, when we said it was missing, I was like, well, that meant if it was missing and it wasn't there, then that meant that the person who put the Pistons back together didn't put it on.
Right.
And so, I'm assuming he meant it was, like, deformed or something like that. Not completely missing, just not right. So he was saying that basically without it, what was happening was oil was getting on our spark plug.
Yeah.
And that's why it would stutter because I noticed it would stop to stutter after I drove it for a little bit. And he was saying basically it would stutter and then eventually it would burn off. And that's why it would stop to stutter.
Oh, I see.
And so he tried the cold start that morning. He said everything was running good. I was like, okay. So I've got my car back now and yeah, it's not stuttering anymore. So
nice.
I'm good. I'm happy. And that's basically all I've done. The only thing like media wise, I've been playing more Animal Crossing.
Cool.
Nothing really much to say about that.
You just been playing it? Nothing happened?
Well, I mean...
Don't you have, like, a lot of fruit or, like, a whole bunch of, like, furniture?
I have all the fruits. I don't have all the furniture. There's more furniture I want to get, and I'm, like, waiting for... Because I'm getting other, like, recipes, and I'm like, I don't want any of these. I want, like, a TV stand recipe or something like that. Like, I need a TV stand.
What do you mean recipe?
It gives recipes so that you can build stuff.
Oh, okay. So what are sorts of, like, ingredients that you need to build it?
Well, I don't know, because I don't have a recipe for TV stands. But usually you need stuff like, wood or bamboo, weeds,
okay, I gotcha.
Like, whatever you can, scrunch up. But right now, my house has 3 rooms, and I have all the fruits. So right now, what I'm working on is getting money and moving my trees. Because when I first started, I just kind of planted wherever. And so now I want it to be a little bit more like this is
more
where
focused.
This fruit goes. Yeah, exactly. And so, because now I have, like, trees everywhere, and I have to build houses for when people are coming to move to this island. And it's like, no, I have a tree right here, and I don't want to cut it down. So I have to move it.
A garden, not a jungle.
Yeah.
That's funny, but you're enjoying it.
Yeah. And then the only other thing is, the only thing I've been watching is that I'm finishing up Static Shock. I'm on the last season. I have, 4 more episodes. And it has gotten a lot better from the very beginning.
Okay, they found their stride.
Yeah. And the opening is, okay, so I didn't know this. So when I was first watching it, I was listening to the opening, and I was like, I don't really quite remember the opening being like this, but okay, like music-wise. And then you get to season 3, and they change the costume, they change the music, and I think it's like this... No, I don't think it's the same lyric. It's the same, it's a different art. I definitely know it's a different artist, but I was thinking maybe it had the same lyrics, but no, it doesn't have the same lyrics. And I was like, that's the song I recognize. Didn't recognize the other two. From the other 2 seasons.
That's funny.
And I was like, that costume, looks better. They took out basically all the yellow, and the only yellow he has is on his chest with his symbol.
Alright, I'm looking up the different costumes.
Yeah, and, at one point, I guess what happens is the show, it does something weird where it takes 2 episodes from season 2 and moves it to season 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And you can tell they're older because his costume's different. Costume is to the old one. And, in season 3, his best friend ends up, developing a delayed powers.
Yeah.
And so in the second season, he doesn't have it. So in these 2 episodes, his friend doesn't have any powers, and he's got a different costume on it. It's kind of weird. But anyways, that's it for me. Did you see the 2 costumes?
You said he doesn't have... No, I'm only seeing one costume.
He's got one costume where he's got a lot more
yellow coat. What season is it?
No. Okay, so season 1 and 2, he's got a costume, and it's his goggles are yellow. I think his coat's got kind of a yellow kind of lining
band on the arm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then in season 3 and 4, he doesn't have yellow goggles anymore. They're black.
Okay.
There's no yellow on the coat or anything. It's almost like a dark version of his costume.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot more. It's a darker blue and everything too. And then the only yellow he really has is the symbol.
Okay, it's got a little yellow under the collar. Okay. That looks pretty good.
So I definitely like the season 3 or 4 costume better. But I think also season 3 and 4, the colors on it are just more vivid than season 1 and 2.
I'm sending it to General. It's all 4.
Yeah, and there was another, one of the main bad guys that I kind of which is the fire guy. I think he looks cooler in season 3 than he does in season 1 or 2. In the opening.
I don't remember the show at all.
He looks very similar in the other ones. Okay. Well, that's it for me. What's going on with you? What's you going, media, everything?
Basically a lot of quarantining again. We've been watching a little more Supernatural.
Okay.
It's kind of fun. I'm kind of just half paying attention. I've been playing XCOM too, which is a video game about aliens. It's very much
Wait, not Apex?
Not Apex. I got bored of Apex. Well, I didn't get bored of it. I got all the characters, and I got all the unlocks, and there's a few other things I have to do and get better at my level, and you can always be better at PvP, but I feel like I've completed Apex. Oh, and I did all my challenges, all my weekly challenges, but now I have more weekly challenges because it's a new week. I'm just kind of taking a break. I'm waving my hands in the air, literally and figuratively. Yeah, so... No, I've been playing XCOM. It's like chess almost, but it's like a strategy game. It's kind of like, have you ever played Fire Emblem? Or, it's like Fire Emblem.
I've heard Fire Emblem, but never played it.
It's like, have you ever seen the movie Starship Troopers?
Is that the bug one?
Yeah, it's the bug one.
Yes.
It's very
My
similar
uncle loves
to that
movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. We rewatched that recently here because of...
I didn't know they came out with a second one.
No, XCOM 2. Oh, did they come out with a second movie?
Yeah, Star Trooper, yeah. Starship Trooper,
whatever
it is. I think they came out with the second one, yeah. I only saw the first one. They came out with Funko Pops for it too recently. They came out with the Bug Tank one. And, of course, what's his name? Rico.
Oh, I bet, yeah, they got everything. So I've been playing XCOM, and I finally beat it. Because that game's pretty tough. And I used to play it where, you can play... Okay, so there's a lot... Let me start so you know the game mechanics. It's a little bit like you move a character and then you get to take a chance to shoot at something, like an alien or whatever. And then you move all your characters. You get a squad of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or all the way up to 8 towards the end of the game. Move around, you take turns playing with the enemy. And a lot of the time, it's pretty brutal on the rolling action. So when you go to take a shot, you can get an 85% shot, but then you miss it. And you really feel it, and then all of a sudden you lose a character or 2. And once they're gone. They're dead,
Oh, dang.
It's really tough. So you want to and as you get towards the end of the game, your characters start getting really leveled up, and you get a lot of abilities and stuff. So if you lose one, it's brutal. I used to play not the Iron Man hardcore mode where it locks you into saves, but I would just kind of play because there are so many glitches in the game where you get stuck or something happens and it's just complete it's not part of the game, so you have to go back and it won't let you do that. So I don't play an Iron
Yeah,
Man.
that makes sense.
But I would play like an Iron Man and go through. And so when I lost somebody, it hurt. It was so bad. But then I got to the point where it became impossible to complete the game because my characters just aren't strong enough. So they're just getting one shot by all these dudes.
Oh, dang.
And you can lose the game forever if they start building up this little. It's like a little like research bar, and if they get that up to the top, you lose permanently. Anyway.
And then it's game over completely. You have to restart it.
Yeah, they take over the Earth, and you just can't beat them. Like, it literally won't let you play. Well, long story short, I'm finally doing where if I really don't like something or if I feel like a game just cheated me or whatever, I'm going to use the power of reloading an old save. I didn't do it too much, but I was technically cheating. It's a single-player game, I don't care. And I got to see the end. And honestly, by the time I got like the hang of things, I wasn't even needing it anymore. I restarted yesterday and went back with like not cheating at all and doing it on the next difficulty up. And I was still doing fine, just beating them. All in all, finally beat this game. It's a lot of fun. I recommend it. XCOM 2. This is the War, the Chosen DLC that my brother Jude got for me. So, shout out.
I see why you sent me a picture of Static Shock, because I was completely wrong about his costume. I wasn't recalling it right. He does have a lot of yellow, but it is darker because he changed from white to black t-shirt, though.
Yeah, it's subtle, but you definitely notice it.
So yeah, I guess I just felt like it was a lot less yellow between the two seasons, but obviously not. I mean, other than the goggles are not yellow anymore, they're blue, but...
Does he even have goggles? I was looking at it. I didn't even see
Yeah,
it.
he's got, blue goggles, because there's an episode where he is wearing his goggles still. He actually uses them, because he's static, and so he can do, big light stuff, and so he uses the goggles to shield his own eyes.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Alright, want to move into our topic?
Yeah. So, today, we're going to be talking about parties. Woo woo.
Woo-hoo.
Because, I've been doing TikTok a lot, and I see a lot of people are, keeping themselves busy during quarantine times. And so one of the things that they've been doing is kind of doing, party games and stuff like that inside to keep themselves entertained.
Yeah.
I've been following this one person on TikTok, and their family is actually doing, the Olympics, the quarantine Olympics, and they're playing all these different games. And some of them are, kind of party games that you would have. And so I figured, and I noticed in my notes I had a section for parties.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, let's do that then. And of course, I'm getting a lot more videos because I follow that one person. I get a lot more videos about other people who have taken their example and are doing Olympics inside.
Oh, I see. So what Olympics would you do inside? What sorts of fun things have you seen that you're like, oh, I could do that?
Let's see. What are some fun things that I've seen? Okay, I've seen...
So real Olympic events, but translated to indoors, so shot putting?
Nah.
Something heavy?
They're weird stuff. One of them is everyone has to make one phone call, FaceTime. And they get timed. And whoever person that they called to FaceTime takes the shortest amount of time to pick up and say hi is the winner.
That's pretty good. Oh, I would be pretty bad at that. You might get me, and I'll pick up instantly because I just see my phone, and I might have my phone in the other room, and you just won't see it for days. I'm really bad about answering my phone.
Phone call later. Hey, what's up? Dude, I lost already 3 days ago. Another one that they're doing is they put the cup in the refrigerator where the little, to dispense water.
Yeah.
And they take a straw and they have to try to drink it out before it overfills. So someone's pushing it, having the water getting dispensed, and the other person's, drinking it.
Okay.
And whoever can, last longer before the water overfills, was the winner.
Oh, you're gonna
So
get
different
sick.
stuff like that.
You gotta get a really big straw so you can push a lot of fluids, or pull, I guess. No.
So different stuff like that. A lot of the stuff is really cool. They had a blind dodgeball tournament kind of thing. Throwing around toilet paper. But yeah, looks like a lot of fun.
That's pretty funny.
So I would thinking about parties and stuff like that and doing stuff. I was trying to think of making
We could do a Don'tcha Olympic and do a little video of indoor, maybe.
That would be cool. I would have to try to think of how we would
We'd have to
do
think
that.
of 3 each or something like that.
So it'd be kind of our special where we were doing challenges.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
It's
And I'd have to
possibility.
try to think of something that we could do where we can record each other and kind of be competing.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
might
know.
be.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Let us know if you have any suggestions for that. That would be, we'll try to do something like that.
I have a doggo
I know,
on my
I
couch
saw
right
him.
now. Yeah, the viewers didn't. I was thinking about it. That's a good podcast topic. You can't see a dog, but you can think about a cute dog. just lying here.
Speaking of dogs, it made me think about one of my discussions for parties, which is, do we allow dogs at the parties or not? Because some people are like,
Oh, yeah.
they lock up their dogs in a room, and then others will like let their dogs kind of roam about while people are partying. I
Okay.
think it's totally okay, because I'd be that person that's like, oh, dog, you gotta play with the doggy the whole time.
Depends on the dog. So, like, if you get a dog that, like, barks at people, definite no, because then that's like a bit of, oh, I got a scratch on my arm. Where'd that come from? It affects the amount of chill. You want your party to be chill, right? And so if your dog's, like, barking at people and being loud or whatever, that's annoying. But, if it's a big enough party, you can just ignore the dog or go to a different room. However, when a dog's just perfect and, like, is the goodest boy and is, like, just a hit, oh, yeah, that's the best. That's the best thing to have at a party. So good boys, yes. Bad boys, no.
Well, I think my dog would probably qualify as bad. Because she loves people, and so she would be jumping on you throughout the whole night.
That's not
Probably barking.
so bad as aggression,
Oh, yeah, she's not aggressive at all. She's a little wuss.
Yeah, I was at a party once, and the host, their dog, was, like, singling out this one person that was, like, visiting, and the one person was like, dude, I don't like dogs. Like, can you, like, put your dog up? And that's not a situation you want to recreate or to create. Like, this boy over here is just laying down like a cinnamon bun. He's okay.
Okay, let's see. Party drinks. Ice or no ice?
Yeah, ice. Gotta have some ice. You want it cold.
That's what I was thinking.
Put it in the punch. You gotta plan for it, though.
It's also good to have because, it gives you water while
Yeah.
you're drinking.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah, but some people, it depends on if you're making like a hunch punch or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that's different. Because some people don't like water mixed in with their party drinks, If we're talking
Yeah.
party, maybe you do just want some good old cranberry juice. And it depends on the drink, too. I mean,
That's
if we're
true.
talking margaritas, I'm gonna want ice,
Yeah. We're talking beer. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's a weird beard.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone drink beer with ice.
What about beer with a straw?
I don't think I've ever seen that either.
I've seen it. I think she just wanted attention. Look at me, I'm so weird and quirky. Shut up. Pour it in a cup.
For
I don't
beer.
remember who it was.
A mug or a bottle?
I'll take a bottle. I'm not against a bottle. I don't need a mug. And honestly, like a coffee mug would be weird to have beer in it, I think. It
Well, I
would
was
need to be
talking
like a
about beer
red
mug.
Solo cup. Beer mug.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like a glass. Oh, of course.
Like your Cheers logo.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I don't know why it's so weird to me all of a sudden. I was thinking like a coffee mug. It would be super weird in a coffee mug. but
That
in a beer
is
mug,
super weird, a coffee
yeah, why-
mug.
Here's your. It's so strange how it's just a tiny bit of shape, a tiny bit of difference. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're basically right, because like a beer mug and a coffee mug are basically the same, except for one's taller, one's short.
Well, it's a Stein, No, I don't know. But it's things like a wine glass and a goblet are different, you know what I mean? And there's some
Yeah.
some for red wines and some for white wines, And if you start getting into all that, I'm sure there's science behind it and all that's interesting and all that. But man, I've poured.
Everything goes into a solo cup for me.
I put
Okay.
I put wine in a coffee mug. I don't have any problems with that. That's a regular for me. But no, usually I just have beer out of the bottle or the can, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Although honestly, I have done you get there's I don't know if it's a microbrewery. It's pretty common. There's a thing it's a heavy stout. It's called Dragon's Milk, and I'll pour
Mhm.
that in a coffee mug. I've done that before. That's no problem because it's got a thick head and it kind of bubbles. I don't know why that's totally fine for me, but
Mhm.
I think it's more like a coffee.
Okay. Don't you know, the first and most important rule is the party foul rule. Don't you know you don't spill your drink?
Yeah, you shouldn't. You should never spill your drink. I mean,
Yes.
party or not.
So, I was thinking that, if it's a rule, that means there's consequences when you break the rule, right? So have you ever been to a party where there was a consequence if you broke that rule?
Yeah,
The sacred rule.
yeah. The
Don't
hostess
spill your drink.
is on the air with us.
Oh, what's the consequence?
Consequences: you spill, you take a shot.
Oh,
That's what I've always heard.
yeah.
I don't think you're the only one to do that, though. I think it's a pretty common one.
Was that a rule that we had?
I
I
don't
remember
know.
it was
I
don't
don't
spill,
remember.
but we
It might
never
have
had
been
anyone spill.
Loosely, jokingly enforced, but I've heard that a lot. Gross, or you gotta lick it up off the table,
Oh, see, I've heard that where you've had to lick it back up,
or use a
if
straw
it goes
for
on the
that,
ground.
and that's just not good. And gross, and coronavirus.
Don't you know we're trying to be healthier? So don't you know you have to use water for your beer pong now?
Yeah, well, you should always do that. That's super gross.
I know. You know, it's funny because the older generations, because I talk about how we use water pong now, and like people are always like, I don't like beer though, and I'm like, well, you use water now. You drink your own drink, and like all the older generations, like, no, you're supposed to use beer. Like, how are you supposed to drink the rest of the cups on the other side? Because that's the whole point. Like, if you lose, you're supposed to drink all the cups on the table. And it's like, but that's like really nasty and unsanitary. Like, and they're like, you have a wash cup, and I'm like, have you ever seen the wash cup? Like, they're like black. And he's like, well, I mean, that's what you get for like, you know, losing. And I'm like, what? Just drink your own cup, because there's a lot of people who don't like beer. It's just easier. You know, everyone takes like their little shot or, you know, sip or whatever of their cup. And then if you lose, you have to down the rest of your cup and down the rest of whatever, you know?
Yeah, what a mess.
Don't you know, when playing beer pong, winner stays on the table?
Only if you want to. I only ever want to play I'll play one game and that's it, because I like guest shots. I'll come in and do like a guest shot, but I don't even want a whole game.
Yeah, and so a lot of these rules I'm about to read off of beer pongs are like my house rules.
Okay.
Because don't you know, house rule is the one that goes. So like, if you play it differently, doesn't matter. It's house rules. So whoever owns the house, Nation's Party or whatever, it's their rules that go. Also, so another one that we have is when playing against girls, they're the ones that get the ball first. Like, if there's someone who's actually won the previous game, they get balls back no matter what. But if it's two new teams, girls get ball first. Unless both teams have the same amount of girls, then you do a shoot-off.
All right.
Okay. So, have you ever been to a party where they had a party rule for puking?
No,
if you puke?
Usually that's not an issue. Usually everyone's just responsible about their own bodily functions.
You lie. Because I know you were at one party that I was at where a guy puked.
Wasn't me, for the fans.
Wasn't you. No, it wasn't you, because you had stopped drinking like the coward you were.
I'm responsible.
You started playing video games with your computer instead.
That's me. I think I was playing spaceships at that party.
Yeah, you were. And every time you failed, me and my friend would take a shot.
Yeah. Some people party in college. I play Kerbal Space Program.
And then if he made it to me, we'd take a shot in celebration.
Oh, yeah.
Then we took a shot in
Memoriam
for good luck. Shot for memorial. Shot for if they made it in celebration.
Each time a rocket stage went. No, I'm joking. Reeling it back in. No rules for expulsion. That was just kind of on the down low.
Yeah, I think there was been only one time I puked at a party, and I was sent to bed afterwards, or at least I went to bed afterwards.
Nice.
And I didn't puke on anything. I just puked inside my hat. I had to throw that hat away.
Moving swiftly and wonderfully along.
You were at that party too, Jacob.
I don't remember that one.
Nope.
Not because I was blackout or anything.
I don't know what you were doing. You did drink more that day, though. The hat I puked in was the one that says, I don't get drunk, I get awesome. So it's super ironic that I puked in it.
You're pretty awesome, I guess.
Okay. So, don't you know, parties must have games.
Yeah, games are good to have of some sort, whether it be board game or card game or video game. Mario Party is always a good, Mario Party. I meant Mario Kart, as we said
Mario
before.
Kart's always fun too, especially Rainbow Road.
Yeah, separates the strong from the weak. I was going to bring up, how come we're doing parties? You haven't been to any coronavirus parties, have you?
No, I haven't. But I've been wanting to go to a party since we've been quarantined. Like, I wanted to have one for my birthday and, have some drinking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then my brother wanted to do one for his birthday, too, because his birthday's 2 weeks after mine.
Oh, gotcha. So it's right
because my dad has a place now. We wanted to do one over there, but with the coronavirus and all and quarantine and all stuff, we have to wait until all of that's done first before we go over to our dad's and have a party.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you know, stay in, keep it. You can do VR chat on your computer and do a party that way. You don't have to have VR to play it.
I've been thinking about getting that Oculus Quest.
Oh yeah.
It was up on Best Buy, but by the time I went there, it was already sold out.
Okay.
So I guess if I end up going on Best Buy and I see it and it's not sold out, I guess I'll just go ahead and get it.
Look at reviews first on Reddit and stuff too. Make sure it's worth it, because some of is that the standalone one or is that the Go?
Yeah,
it's the standalone. I've heard that.
I don't know. It's the one that's was it $2.99, $3.99 or something like that?
All I know is you've got to know what you want. You got to know its limitations. And I got a buddy who got one and didn't know its limitations, and he was like, "Oh, it sucked. I returned it." Not to say anything against Oculus, they got great products, and it's really good for what it does. But if you're wanting to play Fallout 4 or something, or the new Alex game, which is really good. So I hear. I haven't actually seen anything about it, but I'm sure it's really good.
I know one of the things I definitely want to play is like Beat Saber.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have that. It might.
Yeah, and there's a couple other VR games that I like, but I don't have really a strong enough computer for VR. So I would definitely want one that is kind of its own.
Right. That's the big problem with it. It's so resource intensive.
Yeah, because I have my MacBook, but it's not like a high-power MacBook or anything like that. It's just a normal MacBook to do some editing and do some other things. Mostly I use my iPad or my computer. Or my phone.
I think that the way that they are, and obviously they're a lot more complicated than this example, and I'm not knocking them because they're so good, but it's like, do you know those little, when you go over and somebody's like your aunt or your grandma, they're like, oh, I got a game console, and you're like, oh, and you go over to plug it in, and it's like the all-in-one kind of, where you plug the controller into the thing, and it's in,
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of like, they've got 100 games, but they're not you're not playing Call of Duty, you're playing like Brick. No, they're still fun, it's not like an Xbox or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like those are
they're like arcade games,
yeah.
Kind of like.
I feel like this is kind of like that. They got a few games that are pretty good, and I'm sure they're always adding to it and whatever, but they got to make it for that own system so that it doesn't you can't be playing other stuff that's going to just toast the system. But I don't know. I'm not too familiar, so do your own research, don't you know?
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for parties, music, yes or no?
Yes, definitely yes. It can't be too loud. You have to have a good sense of what the atmosphere is. It's got to be kind of background music, or if you got to have a party. I love parties that have multiple rooms with different music, different parts of the house. That's always fun. You get different vibes. Cool. It's something kind of chill in the kitchen where the snacks are, and then out in the living room there's something kind of going on, or out in the patio or whatever. That's always cool.
That is cool. Okay, I was actually just about to say, what type of music then?
Oh, usually EDM, some sort. If it's a party at my place, we're gonna have EDM or dubstep or something. I know it's kind of old fashioned, but I don't exactly do too many parties anymore.
Yeah, I actually have a party list on Spotify. My 2020
parties are in 2012.
Yeah, I actually have a Spotify list for a party. It's 100 songs on it, and a lot of them are, they're techno kind of music, so electronic music, house music, stuff like that. There is a couple of other ones. There are a few in there that are the line dance. I don't know how to describe them. They're not country line dance, but they're Cupid Shuffle and stuff kind of like that.
Yeah,
the wobble.
Where they have the instructions on how to dance in the lyrics. Yeah. That's always a masterpiece.
So I have a couple of those.
Poetry.
I have a couple of really, really popular pop songs, and then a couple of songs that are specifically party songs. Kind of one of them is 303's House Party. Gonna have a party at my house.
Nice.
So things like that. So it's got a little bit of variation, but it's mostly house and EDM and dubstep.
Pretty slick.
You gotta have something fast to keep people awake, because when you drink, you start to get sleepy. So, and then of course a couple of the dancing ones, so that way people are like, oh, I love this song, and they get up and dance and they're awake again.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's always fun. You know what's good at parties is an Alexa or a Google Home. So you can talk to them and have them play music from playlists and stuff. That's always so much fun. And you can harass them and have them tell you jokes. And
yeah, I have a show. And so once I get my own place, I'll probably look into getting maybe some Bluetooth speakers, so that way I can control them with my Echo. So, and then I also have a Google Nest right now. I don't use it though. I got it for free.
Nice. Is it a Google Nest or is it a Google Home? Because I thought Nest was a camera, like a security camera.
I think it's called a Google Mini Nest. But maybe it is a home. Maybe it's a Google Mini Home. I don't know. It's a little... I don't use it. But it's similar to the Alexa.
Yeah. They're competitors. Same product, pretty much.
Yeah, but it's just Google.
So a second ago I mentioned snacks and food. Let's say you're hosting a party. You've got your own place. You got everything's all good to go. All the party balloons are out. There might not be any party balloons. Are you in snacks or full meal? Or are you doing pizzas, or should people come up with a full stomach? What's your go-to? Or do people bring the snacks and food?
Let's see. I'm trying to think if when we were in college, I don't think we did snacks. Maybe a couple. If we had some, we did it, But in college, we had the cafeteria, so it's a little different. Yeah, and we're also broke college students who spend all of our money on drinks.
I'm thinking now as an adult, Ugh, I'm old. Feeling real old right now.
Usually I at least have drinks. I might not always have snacks. I know my aunt and uncle, we usually, when people come over, we will always have snacks. And if I'm having any type of food, it's gonna be snacks. I'm not gonna provide, like, buy a whole bunch of pizza. I'll probably put, like, some chips out and dip. Maybe some, like, fruits and vegetables if I have it. But mostly I'm putting out alcohol, what alcohol I do have. And then, like, of course, if that's not what you want, like, because I'm not gonna put out beer. I don't have beer. Not usually. So if you want beer, of course, bring your own beer. But I'll probably have, like, vodka and stuff like that. Some mixers.
Yeah, I think BYOB is always the best way to go. Maybe have something that you provide. And, I mean, communicate, obviously. Be like, oh, I got some, whatever. Put it out there. And then everyone else just brings what they want. Because I figure if I'm going to a party, I'm going to bring what I want anyway.
Yeah. And I
Most
mean,
of the time.
for me, like, and it just depends. Like, a lot of times I like to, when I go, especially if I go over to her house, and especially if I know we're eating, I always like to bring something. I don't like to go empty-handed.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
So, even when I go to parties, I usually will bring a drink, because I don't like to go empty-handed to places. Usually.
Alright, well, how about the article?
Oh yeah! I completely forgot about this article. I'm glad you said something, because this is actually a good one, and...
Well, what else is your producer for?
Well, normally I have it in my notes, but I found it just now and I didn't put it in the notes. So this is called Shedding Shyness, and it's by Erica Casriel?
Casriel, I
Casriel?
guess? Yeah, sounds good.
Maybe?
Sounds good.
Possibly? Okay, so we're not gonna talk about this whole article because this is about shyness, but there's a section in it, and I thought it was really good for parties, and it's called, the section is How to Sparkle at a Party. So I was like, oh,
It's the opening
that
section,
is perfect. Yeah. So, these are just kind of 4 things that you should, to help you to basically make friends and to get out of your shyness at a party. So the first one's to have a roadmap. And what it means by that is to basically know when you're having conversations, there is like 5 basic stages. And so you have the opening line, which is basically kind of like the icebreaker, the introduction. Then you're going to try out different topics, try to find common ground. And then the closure. And then after that, you usually will possibly, like, kind of sum up what you learn and possibly exchange information.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
So basically, it's important to kind of, like, have that idea when talking about conversations. So that way, you're more, like, I guess you feel more comfortable having conversation when you kind of know where you're going.
Yeah, for sure. When you have a planned destination, yeah, I totally agree. But always be prepared for, and not afraid to be loose and, like, it'd be funny if you're like, you're socially awkward, you plan out, and you're like, okay, I'm going to tell them about my interest for classic cars, and I'm just going to kind of show them how technical I am. And you go in and like, oh, hey, have you checked the dip? And you just, all of a sudden, everything goes out. Or they're just like, oh, yeah, I don't really like cars. Anyway. You're like, no! Oh, I'm going to go home. Thanks for the party, guys. It's nice.
Well, that's what it says, is that you have to, like, talk about different topics and try to find common grounds. It doesn't say you're going to.
Yeah. For sure. And it's all give and take.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
The second point is to stay informed. So basically, you should know where you're going next week, but you should also know what's going on this week. So that way you can have conversations. Like, you can talk about what's going on. But if you're talking to someone you don't even know what's going on currently, you're not gonna, like, really be able to continue a conversation.
Yeah.
And so it also talks about, when you're doing this, though, don't, like, when you're talking about what's going on, don't do it with the intent to try to impress, and don't judge others when they come up with stuff too. The third point, warm up. So basically what this is kind of weird, because this one says you should arrive early to an event. And most people are like, no, never arrive early. But the whole idea to arriving early in this point is that it gives you the option to talk to people as they come in. So you have a chance to do one-on-one without having to try to approach groups to make friends.
This is if you're not feeling confident talking to people, you should go early?
Yeah, this is basically, all of these points are for helping people who are shy kind of participate at the party.
Now, you see, I would think the contrary. I would want to get there late, because if you get there early and you're, like, the only one there, and you're like, oh, hey, and now all of a sudden you're talking to everybody, it's like, oh, hey, welcome to the party, it's me, there's Joe. Like, hey. If you want to, like, blend in, maybe you do want to show up late when everyone's already kind of occupied in an activity. You just want to kind of just slide on in. Oh,
well,
no,
yeah, and that's what I was thinking,
Don't mind
too.
me.
But the idea of this behind is to do kind of like a quick talk. It's not, this one is to kind of warm up. So if you're there early and you're talking to people as they come in, you're not approaching groups. And it's not to, like, have this huge long conversation. It's just to warm up and get used to talking to people really quickly. Like, hey, how are you doing? My name is blah, blah, blah. Okay, oh, there's another person. Hi, blah, blah, blah. Like, and kind of, like, helps you overcome that shyness because you've already done it 8 or 10 times. Now you can actually go to, like, groups or whatever and, like, actually hold conversations because you just did it 8 or 10 times already. And so the last point that they have is to look approachable. So basically, it is, basically have a smile. Like, if you look upset or mean or hostile, no one is gonna want to talk to you. You're not gonna have any warm interaction. So it even says, practice your smile.
Yeah, unless you're going for, like, the sultry, like, seductress with the smoldering eyes. You like that? The alliteration of S's. That could be what you're going for. But no, generally, yeah, you want to look fun in a party. Because the sultry seductress type is, well, they're pretty fun to talk to. I was gonna say they're only fun for a moment, and then you're like, what are you doing? Nothing. I'm just a vampire. And then you're like, all right, I'm gonna go get some more taquitos.
And then it also says, stand tall and lift your heads because your attention moves outward. And that's it for this article.
Nice. I found an article, and I was just browsing it. I'm only going to read a interesting snippet. This is for planning. It says, what people remember. It says people are most likely to remember the first 5 minutes of the party. What happens as people first arrive is something that people remember most, just like an event first impression. And also, backtracking a second, you were talking about making a good impression. More than a smile, I think that when you're going to a party, I'm definitely wearing, like, my good clothes. Because I want to look good,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my hair. I'm gonna do my makeup. I don't do makeup. I'm not against it. I just don't do it.
And see, for me, I like to wear interesting stuff. Like, not necessarily, like, my best thing. Like, I think when we went to my friend's party in North, Atlanta, I wore, like, I think we all wore very bright color shirts with, like, different, like, funny sayings on it.
Yeah.
And, like, bright hats and stuff like that. I think it was also a blacklight party, though.
Oh, nice. You need that glowing Clark Kent glasses thing that you had. Do you remember that for Halloween?
I know.
That's certifiable party gear right there. Glow sticks, don't you know? Super, yeah. All the time at any party.
Yeah, when we went to the after party for Comic-Con, so many people stopped me saying that they liked my glasses and my tie, because my tie also lit up too.
Yeah, they were awesome.
So many people.
Do you remember that one party where they had the glow sticks in the old liquor bottles? They weren't old, but they were just, like, filled with water. They dropped them in. I
kind of vaguely do it. Yeah, that was
some
cool.
Pretty cool aesthetic there. I love glow sticks. I'm a sucker. You throw some glow sticks and turn the lights out. Yeah, I like your party vibes.
I was supposed to do a glow stick 5K.
Nice.
But I think it got canceled.
Oh, yeah. Go back to this article. What people remember. The first 5 minutes, they say they remember the high or the low. And this one is odd, but your event has to have a high. Otherwise, people just remember the low, or worse, nothing at all. That's kind of an interesting one. You have to have something really cool that happens, because otherwise they're going to remember something bad. And then,
that's so true. Because we had a couple of parties our senior year. But the one that I remember the most?
The police officer coming up to tell us?
Yeah. And you know what type of party that was? There was 3 people.
We were playing a board game?
It was like...
Yeah.
Yep. It was like, we started off having a party, and then we ended up just playing a board game, and we were just sipping drinks. We weren't even partying.
The music on your laptop speakers. It wasn't even like a big...
Yeah.
They just didn't like the music.
I think what it really was you pulled the car that said to be a ballerina, and you were hopping around.
I remember.
I think that's probably what it was.
Nah.
But, that's one of the parties I remember most.
I have a very dainty step. That could not have been it. Very light on my feet.
You were jumping and doing like a something, I don't know, and then you weren't landing very gracefully.
Moving back, the last 5 minutes
Jacob could not be a ballerina.
Ay. The bookend.
Moving
on. The bookend
on.
is that the last 5 minutes are the other thing that they remember. That's it.
That's true.
That's how they leave. Although this says for a dinner party. So It's like, all right, everybody's time to go home. I guess we're wrapping up. And then they all go, all right, here's your gift bag or whatever. There's no gift bags at my parties. Sorry. That's fun. But I haven't
There's not many mine either.
Versus like everybody crashing and hanging out overnight, which is how a lot of parties go. Especially when you're going out and hanging out. I'll hang out with Tin and Alfred up in Atlanta. And
and see, the way I am is I like to I prefer people crashing at my house.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them drinking and driving.
Yeah, that's very true. Don't you know? Stay safe. Don't do that. But also, it's fun to do slumber party, too.
Yeah. So, but always have, like, pillows and blankets, too, so that people can crash there. Like, let them know beforehand, like, hey, you guys are allowed to crash here. Like, I would prefer you guys to crash here than to go driving.
That's always fun. Everybody waking up at different hours, just groaning and shambling around. Inevitably,
Someone's
somebody makes
got drawings on their
coffee.
face.
Yeah, I've never had any drawings on faces at my parties, but that is a stereotype.
That's because I wasn't there.
Nice.
I would have drove on your face, Jacob.
All right. Anything else? What else about parties? What's another must-do, must-have?
I only have one other point, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay, mine is, don't you know I make the best drinks?
Best drinks? That's,
Mhm.
Joel would argue with you. He thinks he makes the best drinks.
I don't remember any of his drinks, so I guess not.
Yeah, because you remembering them is a fair judge. We'll have to have a competition. You're both gonna... All right, Daiquiri, bring it on.
I make the best drinks as in my own creations.
That's funny.
I just know what could go good together. I make my own, like, MFs and stuff like that with, where it has a whole bunch of different alcohols and mixtures in it. And it's really good, and it gets you messed up.
I'm on this, sorry, I went back to this website, and I'm just skimming through, and it says, in big bold, it says, comfort plus excitement equals buzz. I'm like, that sounds pretty good. Good little, for anything, I mean, if you're trying to do, like, alright, we're gonna play this game, we all like Game of Thrones, let's do Game of Thrones trivia. Okay, cool. I don't know why Game of Thrones trivia is the first thing to come to mind. This is comfort
This
food.
article is actually kind of cool. This is more than just drinking parties. This is like parties in period.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, have bathroom signs, have funny toilet paper. For this quarantine, it's just have any paper. Have any toilet paper.
We're, I'm on my reserves. I think we'll be okay. But
Jacob.
I didn't stock up. I didn't know. I wasn't prepared. Just had my normal amount.
I don't think it's that hard to find toilet paper
No,
anymore,
I'm
though.
just joking. I'm sure it's fun. I just haven't been out in a while.
Yeah.
I'm making it work.
And I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done too. There's a whole bunch of like party stuff, party planning stuff. If you're planning parties, and you find those online. And if you've never been to a party, you can try it out. No, now social distance. You try it once
Social
you're
distance.
once everything goes back to normal. Sorry for all the clicking. I'm trying to find. Oh, we don't even have our webcams on right now.
If you have a party now, make sure you tape off 6 feet so people know where to stand at the
Yeah.
party.
There should be like webcam parties right now where everyone just has like a group video.
I've seen
chat.
that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a thing.
A lot of people are like having like drinking parties through like Zoom and stuff like that. I've seen some where they're like, they set up like the huge like tile thing, like in Zoom, where you can have everyone's like picture up and they'll eat passing a drink around, taking a drink and then passing it.
Yeah,
They make it look like they're passing it to each other virtually.
that's funny.
And then there's some people who are playing like beer pong through Zoom.
You'd have to play. I feel like video games would be way better for that. You could do they got the Jackbox Party Pack thing that you can do, and you can do that over like a stream, and everyone can play on their phones. That's a good one to play together. That game's pretty fun. Man,
Oh, yeah.
that game is so good for parties. Don't you know? Check that game out.
Yeah, I saw that on Switch. I was looking up stuff, and that's actually on sale right now for Switch. The Jack and the pack or whatever it's called.
Jackbox Party Pack. Yeah, I just got the 6th one. Apparently that's a really good one. I forgot I just got it. Let me check my Steam.
Yeah, it's on sale right now. I think it's like half off in the Nintendo store.
This is not a sponsored stream. All right, that's all I got.
Okay, then. Well, thanks for listening to us, guys, and we hope you enjoyed. And I forgot to mention. So next week, I hope you guys are here because we should be having a guest, hopefully. Ooh.
Very exciting. It's been a while.
Yeah. So if you want to hear our guest, and I'm not going to tell you guys what the topic is, so you'll just have to subscribe and follow, so that way when our episode comes out with our guest, you'll be able to listen. Also, please share us, and so that other people know about us, and then they can be prepared to listen to our guest as well. A special guest! Oh!
That was actually a dual purpose ooh for me because of the I just saw that my sword fighting game just got a big update. I might be playing that right after this.
Yeah. And you guys can send us a tweet at Don't You Know, or send us an email at don'tyouknowpod@gmail.com. So give us some suggestions for our own virtual quarantine Olympics.
All right.
Ba-ba-ba.
Cool.
Okay, until next time, guys. Bye.
See ya.